can be successful and still have tattoos? Well, I recently watched a video of a man who was denied a job because of his tattoos. So he has 2 sleeve tattoos and a few neck tattoos. They're nothing but music and his wife's lips print and his son's footprint. He is probably in his early 30s, late 20s, and he applied for a job in the medical industry and qualified for all of his tests, but he never got a call back for the job for his first interview. So he found answers, and they replied with, "No, the only reason we're not hiring you is because of your tattoos." And this man, his response was, "If I have a family member that's sick or dying, I would not care if the person working in the medical field has tattoos or not." So his quote was, "If they're there to help my family member and here to save their life, I think the last thing going through someone's mind when they're going through an emergency is that I have tattoos. I'm sure they're more concerned about help my loved one." Wrote Shada from BakersfieldNow.com. And this affected me because someday I do want tattoos, and I want to be successful with this, and I don't want to be judged and denied a job because of my tattoos. And for those of you who don't know, I'm very passionate about art, so I feel like it's more of a self-expression thing, and I've even considered being a tattoo artist. So his claim is that employers should not discriminate employees based on body art. Now, everyone is on the same pursuit of happiness and success, and that, in my opinion, people forget the big picture. Companies and businesses are too technical. They care too much about what you wear and how you look. I believe that everyone's human. We all deserve the same respect and the same equal opportunities. But on the other hand, I understand that you don't want the customer to feel scared or have a negative look on you because of your tattoos, or they think it looks unprofessional. But as long as they're not hateful or demon related or scary, I don't see a problem with it. Now, over fall break, I asked my grandma, considering that in her generation they don't really approve of tattoos, and her only response was that she's worried about what they're going to look like when you get older, like your wrinkles. And my response was, who cares? It's your body. Why should I care if you have a tattoo? And now, another story I'd like to share with you. My best friend works at IGA, and a man was approaching her at her register, and she commented on his sleeve tattoos, and his response was, "Thanks. They're memories from all of the places I've ever traveled to or I've had a good past with." So I think that's really cool that he has little positive pictures or quotes from all the memories he wants to remember. And that's why I believe you should get tattoos when you're young. Why get them when you're old and wrinkly, like my grandma said? I think that it should show your journey throughout life. And now, what is so bad about tattoos? People are judged by their appearance every day. Tattoos or no tattoos, what you look like, what you wear, doesn't matter. I believe that we need to be our own individual and not worry about what other people think. And some of the most successful and respected people on this earth have tattoos. For example, Adam Levine, Justin Bieber, LeBron James, and it's even said that Teddy Roosevelt had a tattoo of his family crest on his chest. Furthermore, tattoos have gained a wider social acceptance than they have back then, so they're growing, and it's not just a fad, because most tattoos have a meaning or a religious background, or even from a loved one passed. So the myth has it that tattoos are for criminals or for lower class, but tattoos are usually a substantial amount of money. So if you're lower class, you're probably not going to go get a tattoo. You're going to spend your money more on necessities, clothes, and groceries. Okay, now I want you to imagine that you have a tattoo of a rose somewhere visible, maybe on your arm or your leg And to me, it might look like you have a fad of, you like roses, and that's okay. But maybe it means something more. Maybe it was the rose that you received at your grandma's funeral. Or maybe it was your grandma's middle name. See, my point is that most tattoos mean something, and they're a creative way of self-expression. Or they're wisdom, like something that you've had in your past that reminds you of being a stronger person. So my question to you is, what's so bad about tattoos? Are they really stopping people to be less successful and less determined in the work field because of a tattoo?
Do you think there should be any limits on where people can have the tattoo? Like, I know face tattoos are very popular, but
Yeah. Well, I read that most the companies would say it depends on where it's at and what it is. So yeah, most people are not gonna have it on their face, but if it's on your arm and it's like a big skull, maybe not. But if it's like Bill Roach, the man in my first story, all his tattoos were just music, so I don't see a problem with that. So it does depend on the job and what it is.
Does the workforce have problems with just tattoos, or is there problems with body piercings also?
Yeah, there is piercings too, but my focus was just tattoos, and it's just the guy applied for the job in the medical industry, and they did not care what his tattoos were of. He said that all of his tattoos mean something to him. They're not hateful or gang related, so it shouldn't matter.
You mentioned kind of the difference of tattoos, so you mentioned like music notes or skull and cross. Where or how can we decide what is a quote unquote good tattoo and what is a bad tattoo? What are your thoughts about that?
Well, most gangs, they'd have a teardrop, meaning you killed someone or something like that. And most people, average, probably like us, like Cannon, he told me that he wants a cross, meaning to be strong, and that focuses more on throughout his life to be strong. So most people would get something that means something to them, not a skull or something that.
If I can maybe rebut that question, it's what if I am an atheist business owner or a Muslim business owner and he comes in with a cross tattoo? Should I have the right to not hire someone because I think that's offensive?
Yeah, I think it does depend on the business and stuff, but it's kind of like your own body. So are you gonna judge me because of how I wear my hair? Do you know what I mean?
Alright.